Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick breakdown of the three-step practice system that I want you to use when you're practicing on your own at home. I've talked about this system before in class, and we've done a lot of activities related to it in class together, but I want to have this video for you that you can reference outside of school when you're practicing on your own time. So if you remember, we have our 3 steps to the practice system. Count, tap, and clap, say and press, and then playing as written. So the first step I'm going to talk about is count, tap, and clap. Now we all know how to make a steady beat with our foot. Heel stays on the ground, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That part is pretty simple. However, the counting and the clapping part adds a bit more complexity to it. On the board over here, I wrote just a short 2-measure exercise with just made up of quarter notes. If I was going to tap, clap, count, tap, and clap for that, I'd have my foot going as a steady beat, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then I would clap the rhythm for the 2 measures while saying the counts out loud. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, each measure the counts restart all over, so we wouldn't say 5, 6, 7, 8, we'd say 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I was to change this exercise just a little bit, and now, instead of a note, there's a quarter rest here, things would change. It still gets a beat, so we would still count, and it would be beat 3. But instead of clapping, hands go apart, as such. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also whisper the count out loud to remind yourself that it is a rest. Although I'm not going to be super specific about you doing that in class, as long as you know that it's a rest and not a note. Okay. So that's a breakdown of step 1 of the practice system with quarter notes. However, we're going to see things in the book that don't just have quarter notes. So why don't I take this note here and change it from a quarter note to a half note. So now this note is going to get beats 1 and 2 together. Now, when we had the quarter notes, it was 1, 2. But now, since this is a note that's sustained for those 2 beats, we would just keep our hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions about it, obviously, I would want you to ask me. So that gives you a bit of a breakdown of step 1 of the practice system, and we'll do this in class. You can ask me whatever questions you might have in the comments, or by email, or in class, as always. Now we're going to talk about step 2, say and press. Take your instrument. Today I'm going to use clarinet. First, you have to figure out the fingerings for each of these notes, as well as the note names. That kind of goes hand in hand. You can't know the fingerings if you don't know what note you're playing. So, for argument's sake, I have looked up the fingerings, I know the notes. Now, I'm going to say the note names aloud in the rhythm. So I'm going to say each note as if it was the quarter note or the half note that it is on the board. And then, in addition to that, I'm going to move my fingers to match the fingerings for each note. So for example, just that first measure, there's an E on beat 1, a D on beat 2, a quarter note rest, and then a C on beat 4. So I'm doing the fingerings properly, my thumb's covering the back key, I'm fingering an E. I'm tapping my foot for the steady beat. E, D, C. So if you noticed, I moved each of my fingers to the appropriate fingering position with every note. And for the rest, I didn't say anything because there was no note on that beat. Let me take the second measure now. That one has the half note, so it's slightly different rhythmically, but I'm setting up my fingering for the D, and then I go D, E, C. I still did all the fingerings, but I remembered to hold the D for 2 beats, and my fingers stayed playing that D for 2 beats. Now, that's step 2. The last step, step 3. plank. And it's as simple as it sounds. Do each of these steps until you're comfortable with it. Don't just rush through the rhythm part once. Don't rush through the counting, the tapping, the clapping once, and then skip ahead to step 3. Do each of those steps in order, and do them until you get them right. If you do that, I promise you, by the time you get to step 3 and playing your instrument with that exercise, it's going to be infinitely easier than if you just sat down and tried to figure it out without doing the steps beforehand. As always, questions, concerns, confusion, anything that I can help you with, leave comments, send me emails, come to Extra Help, 7:45 Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. Let me know in advance if you're coming. And I'm always more than happy to answer any of your questions, make subsequent videos to address those questions, and so on. So please, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will see you in class. Happy practicing.